Can the Biden team pivot and change course?
It seems highly unlikely. Look, there was a moment after Afghanistan, which was such a stain on our conscience of the American people, that I thought others were saying maybe he can pivot to domestic legislation and at least shore up some victories there. That didn't happen. He's been to the Hill 3 times, and all 3 times failed to get Democrats to come on board with his legislation. So then he's chosen to pivot to divisiveness, to division. The speech we saw about federalizing elections, his assertion that if you opposed this legislation, you're a segregationist. That rhetoric was criticized by Dick Durbin, among others, in his own party. I don't think he can pivot. And Stuart, as we were coming to air, I see Steve Holland of Reuters reporting that Russia could launch an invasion in Ukraine in January or February, according to what a U.S. official told him that intelligence was showing. So I point that out to say there's a lot on the foreign policy horizon. Here domestically not going well either. I don't think he can pivot.
Is there any way that the Democrat Party could come together again? At the moment, the left is outraged at what's happened with voting rights and Build Back Better. Is there any possible way that they can come back together and salvage something for 2022?
I simply do not see it. I mean, you had Kyrsten Sinema. Think about this. The president of the United States is coming to Capitol Hill, presumably to try to coerce you and Joe Manchin, maybe 1 or 2 others, to come on board and have a carve out in the filibuster. And what does she do? She takes to the floor of the Senate and essentially shreds that idea to pieces. So the moderate wing of his party doesn't seem to respect him. And as we move forward and Build Back Better doesn't get passed and this voting legislation, you're going to hear a lot of angst, I would think, from AOC, Ilhan Omar, and the far left wing of the party. So this is a president in shambles. Axios said today, very few presidents don't have Republicans, don't have the moderate wing of their party, and don't have the left wing of their party. But that's the chessboard that it seems to be President Biden is looking at.
Kayleigh, would you repeat what you said at the top of this interview about that report that Russia may invade Ukraine January or February? I'm asking because that is new to me and it just occurred, and I see that the market has taken a leg to the south right after that news came out. Repeat it, please.
Yeah, you know, Fox, I don't believe, is independently verified, but Steve Holland of Reuters, reputable, of course, publication, put out a tweet and it said, U.S. official, Russia could invade in mid-January or mid-February, Ukraine. So it was a very short piece of information put out by Reuters. Steve Holland, a journalist who I know to be extremely credible. So that's alarming information if true and if verified by others.
It's a dangerous situation. Domestic policy collapsing, and now extraordinary pressure on a weak president from overseas, from the Russians. It's a dangerous moment. Last word to you, Kayleigh.
Yeah, it is dangerous. And when President Biden had those conversations with Putin, you know, he's had 2 recently. After the first conversation that he had in the fall, Russia actually added more troops to the border of Ukraine. So I don't know that Putin has gotten the message. I know President Biden has tried to give a stern warning to him. He doesn't seem to have gotten the message. I hope that intelligence isn't true, because that's a very alarming prospect that we would be looking at.
Yes, it is. Kayleigh, thanks for joining us. Of course, we'll be watching you on Outnumbered